Welcome. We're here with Conversations in Leadership 2012 with Gospel Today and the Potter's House. I'm joined today by Pastor Patrick Winfield. How are you today?
Doing well, Roland. How are you, sir?
Doing wonderful. Thank you. Pastor Winfield serves at the Potter's House at Fort Worth. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right. Great. Pastor Winfield, you are known as a gifted administrator, but the gift of administration doesn't come naturally to every pastor and leader. So what are some of the habits that you've embraced that help you successfully juggle the ever-changing demands of ministry?
Well, there are a few things that I do. I try to make sure that my life is balanced with periodic workouts. So every morning I'm working out. That's very important to me because physically you've got to stay fit for the demands of the job. In addition to that, the more physically fit you are, the more healthy you are as far as your brain is concerned. And so, the health of an individual is very important. While I'm working out, I'm constantly listening to audio books. I'm listening to things about psychology, things about economics, things about business, those kinds of things, leadership, education. I'm listening to and reading a lot of a broad range of topics that gives me a little bit more leverage as far as thinking across the board concerning topics. I'm always, looking at my time and managing it, trying to manage it as well as possible, and getting the best out of meetings that I'm having. So I try to balance it, through various ways, but trying to make sure that that I stay alert and clear in my thinking. That becomes very important.
Yeah, kind of the idea of the healthy leader first, huh?
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about planning for a minute. When it comes to planning, you guys obviously have so many things going on. I know that you were the former principal of Clay Academy, which is a renowned school that you guys run there. Tell us about planning and what you've learned about planning. How far in advance do you plan? What kind of tools do you use for planning? How do you manage the whole planning process, especially with the fact that you're dealing with so many volunteers in ministry?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I try to do is to make sure that whatever ideas we may have, I'm bringing it before my team. I have a team of people, like a think tank, that I have around me, that I place around me, so that we can talk about various ideas that we may want to implement throughout the course of the year. While we are talking about those particular ideas, we start talking about from month to month the dates that would be most appropriate for those particular events. If it's events, we're trying to plan out, 4 to 8 weeks in advance, depending on the magnitude of the event. When I was a principal, we planned the whole calendar in August, really, because you just have to put things on the calendar, and you want to make sure that the information is disseminated to parents on the first day of school. And so, I kind of carry the same kind of ideology into pastoring, that you want to look at the whole year and look at the full calendar and see what events we can have from month to month or bi-monthly. And in the meantime, be able to plan those events accordingly. Sermons, I plan a month in advance or 2 months in advance, because we have a creative team that's working on trying to put some things in place, prompts and things of that nature, to make sure that the presentation is top-notch. And so, depending on that becomes very important.
Sure. A lot of leaders I've heard, express it. It's a struggle, really, to get ahead when you're talking about your preaching calendar or even your planning calendar, because they are trying to be sensitive to what the voice of the Lord is saying to them for the moment. They can't predict everything that's going to happen, but you're in the same boat. So how are you dealing with that?
Well, one of the things that I try to do is to pray about it. I used to be the kind of preacher that, I would receive, unction or an impression in my heart on what to preach about and what to talk about the previous week, and just get up and talk about it after you've done your week or 2 weeks of studying. Being in this position now, I'm trying to be different in that, and so I've just prayed, Lord, impress upon my heart the things that you would want to say next month and the following month, and from that outflow, I pretty much can get an idea and a gauge of what the Holy Spirit will want me to talk about from month to month. That becomes important for planning purposes. it also becomes very important if you're trying to plug in volunteers to what you're doing. Volunteers don't have a problem with plugging in as long as they know what they're going to do when they do plug in.
Right.
And so, that becomes very important, not just for me to know what I'm doing and what I'm saying, but for the people around me to know what I'm doing and what I'm saying so that they can plan to accentuate the message.
Right.
Oftentimes, we will keep the ideas on the inside of us and do unveiling and revealing on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's a catch thing that, people are excited about the word and all that stuff. We want them to be surprised.
Right.
But, I find it best when people are more surprised. And, you let your people that are coming in be surprised, but the people around you, they do not want to be surprised or taken off guard by some of the things that you may want to do. So you might want to communicate that to the people around you. I find it that when we did that, the people around us really did work better.
Yeah, wow. That's good to hear. Well, I'm sure that pastors and leaders, you'll learn a lot more from Pastor Winfield as well as other great planners and thinkers at the Pastors and Leaders Conference in Orlando, Florida, May 3rd through the 5th.